Welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. So, before I get on to today's review, I don't know what's happening with my sleeping pattern. I remember talking about this after I left the village. I was like, oh, I sleep early nowadays and I wake up early. And it has been happening like that. But then somewhere along the way, my sleeping pattern changed again because it got to, like, sometimes I sleep at 1, sometimes I sleep at 2, sometimes at 3. I think since I've left the village, there's a time I slept at 4 a.m. But I'll wake up still at either 7, 8, or 9. Which is crazy because that means I can sleep like for just 4 hours or 5 at most and be functional during the day. And I do not understand why that is. And I do not like it. I want my 7, 8 hours of sleep, man. Like a healthy amount of sleep. Because imagine sleeping for 4 hours. Last Sunday while I was going to church, I only slept for 4 hours. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I slept for 4 hours or even less. And then I wake up and I go to church. I was feeling sleepy, but I fought it. Got back home. Well, I already talked about that. But like you can imagine, this is now a different level of stress because I cannot be functioning like this. Because it happens like that I'll be sleeping at, let's say, at 3 and I'm up by 7 or something like that. And then one time when I do not want to sleep early, that's when my sleep will come early. Like tonight, it's 11:45 and I started feeling sleepy at 11. So I've been negotiating with myself and, thinking and overthinking about this. Should I record or not? Should I just go to bed, try to sleep, then wake up at whatever time and then record? But I'm like, in the mornings, it's crazy. Even though kids are at school and stuff like that, I have these neighbors that have just decided to be putting music anyhow they want, and it makes the house shake, it makes my door shake. So I cannot really rely on the neighbors. Like, kids, fine, they're at school, but the neighbors also have their rights and they play music sometimes that is so loud, so I cannot risk recording during the day. So I'm like, okay, let me just push through, let me try and record right now, and I hope that by talking, the sleep will go away for a while, at least until I finish recording this and Saturday's episode, and then I can go to bed if I still be sleepy, because this is just so unfair and I don't like it. I want to fall asleep when I want to fall asleep, like, not this nonsense of today you are asleep, you feel like going to bed at 11, tomorrow at 12, the next 1, 2, 3, and then because you've been sleeping late and waking up early, one time when you're not interested in sleeping early, sleep comes early, and now I have to stop doing whatever I have to do in order to go to bed. Like, this is just so not okay. So yeah, that is me now. I know even last Wednesday's episode, I think, I told you that I was so sleepy while recording it. I don't know what happens. Maybe it's me watching these African movies. I'm sorry. But maybe it's me watching them. They're not bad. Like, this one was interesting. It's fun. But I just do not know. I do not know what is happening. And also, like, today's movie, I had watched it before. I think when it came out back in 2023, I watched it. But then I wasn't sure if I had recorded it for the podcast or not. Because I wasn't sure whether I watched it whether I watched it for the podcast or it was just like my normal watch. But then, yeah, I had to go back on my YouTube channel, check all the titles of all the ones that I've done reviews on, just to make sure that I had not go back to my book. Like, I have a notebook, check, because I usually write all the movies that I've watched just to make sure that it's not there. And then I realized, oh no, it's not there. It's just that I had watched it for me. And the reason I even put it on the list to do a review on is because I'd already watched it and I liked it the first time. So, yeah. But it was still good. A second watch was still good. And yeah, I'm going to be giving the review for it. So, stick with me. If I mumble my words, just understand that I'm very, very sleepy. Like, my eyes are fighting to shut. And I have to do this because it's work and I just have to. So yeah. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the South African movie Trading Places. Trading Places is a 2023 South African rom-com written by Neon Lapo, directed by Tabo Ntsako Mashaila, and produced by Zolani Lapo, Tabo Ntsako Mashaila, and Neon Lapo. I'm sure I've said those names wrong. Forgive me about that. Forgive me for that. Because, I'm not South African. I'm Kenyan. And these names are hard, okay? Like, Kenyan names are usually straight to the point. The way it's written is how you read it. The N, H, and, God, no. I do not know. But, yeah. The cast include Tabo Rametsi, Zikona Bali, Didintle Kunou, Zolani Nlapo, Muzi Fefe Masego, Motwane, Ziggy Ndlovu, Mbalehe, Zakwe, Sanelesiwa Yekani, Craig Mackinnon, and other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, go on with this, continue watching, continue listening. But if you do not like spoilers, please leave, go to Netflix, watch the movie, then come back and tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is the official spoiler alert. So, this movie follows this couple, Zino and Mdu. These guys meet at a club on a New Year's Eve. I think it was in 2018 or something. New Year's Eve. She wanted to go to a New Year's party and she was supposed to meet her best friend Aziz. But Aziz wasn't showing up. She was calling her, blah, blah, blah. And then Du was outside the club as well. He knew the bouncer and they were talking. And he looks around and he sees her. And so he goes, approaches her, she was on the phone still, and then they end up spending the evening together in the club, and then they leave, they start walking around and they're talking. Their chemistry was strong, and they eventually kiss, and then it's like another new year and another new year and another new year. So by the time now the movie properly begins, it's been 5 years, and then we meet the couple. They're living together now, but they're not so happy. So Zeno is a therapist, I think, and Du works for, I think he's a producer or something, because he works in music videos and stuff like that. And so they're different, but they are also like they're smart in their own fields and they excel in their own fields, but it's a little bit different. One of them is a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever, and the other one is a producer. And so they have their differences, and they've been together for 5 years, but there's no marriage in sight. And I think there's a conversation Mdu has with one of his best friends, and he wants marriage, but Zeno is the one who's holding out. And we get to know why, because there's this couple who come for counseling, and she's talking to them and they're finally engaged. I think they had been having troubles, and so he proposed, and now she said yes, but she's like, are you sure about this? Like it was like she was trying to get the lady to open her eyes and not go ahead with the marriage. But so he wasn't for marriage, because apparently the work that she was doing as a counselor, like she had counseled so many married people and so many of them had gone through divorce, that she wasn't sure about marriage in its entirety. But Mdu was already in that place. But anyway, they used to fight and stuff. They weren't agreeing on anything. And one time they argue, because there are these friends who are supposed to come over. Like, that is Mdu's best friend. He works with him, by the way, and his wife. And Aziz, they were supposed to all come and spend the evening with them. But there was this light that Mdu was supposed to fix, but he hadn't done it. He had forgotten. They start arguing about that, but eventually he does something about it. These guys come, they sit outside, they're talking, they're playing games, and through that, like, something happens. They're like, no. Zeno was like, she doesn't want to be with Mdu anymore, like they should just break up or something. And so their friend Aziz shows up. She had been traveling the world. She's young, she has money, blah, blah, blah. And so she had brought them a gift from Nigeria. There's this statue, and apparently it's supposed to foster empathy amongst people. And so once everybody has gone, they start arguing about that again, like where to put it and blah, 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 blah. They can't agree on anything. And it's like, yeah, they're broken up. In the morning, they're supposed to wake up and leave. Everybody's supposed to go their own way. So by the time they go to bed, they are upset and they have been arguing. But something happens while they sleep. And when they wake up in the morning, they had switched bodies. So Mdu was in Zeno's body and Zeno was in Mdu's body. And so that's the trading places. And so they start navigating life in each other's bodies. And so Mdu has to go to Zeno's workplace and Zeno has to go to Mdu's workplace. Doing that, they start uncovering some things and, learning about each other in a better way, I think, because it's like literally saying walking a mile in someone else's shoes. So they were literally doing that, having to navigate life. Mdu had to experience PMS and all of those things. Like it was crazy. But anyway, they navigated through it so well. They learned a lot about each other. They learned about the stereotypical things that women and men go through. Like in life, the way men are expected to know everything, to be go-getters, to not cry, to do what. My God, if I had a husband, if I ever meet somebody, they better be in touch with their feminine side, because I'm not into toxic masculinity. If you want to cry, cry, baba, cry. Cry. And if I ever have a son, I will teach him to cry. Like, you have to cry when you want to cry. This thing of telling men or boys, like, men are not supposed to cry, don't do that. So, like, well, Zeno learns that, and she gets to understand that side of men, and do also gets to understand a lot about women, and also, like, especially in the workplace, because and especially in South Africa, I think this is the thing that happens there most of the time. Like, especially if you're a black woman, black South African woman, and your bosses are the white South Africans. Once somebody says, something like "you are people," and I was like, what? Hey, sometimes we take for granted the fact that we are Kenyans, and here we don't get to hear that. Like, if you hear it, maybe it's in a tribal way, which is a way that you can also see that, because in South Africa, yes, they are white, but they are Boers or whatever. What are they called nowadays? I don't know those. But like, it's the colors and it's the different tribes of South Africa, and then it's also the white people, it's the Indians, it's the what. So you can also like put it like it's a tribal thing, yes, but it's also racism. And I was just like, mm-mm. But anyway, they navigate life like that. Somebody like they find out about each other's work and each other's struggles and the dreams they have for the future, blah blah blah. And through it all, by then they keep talking through it all, and they learn more about each other, because Zeno kept saying that Mdu does not listen, but because now they have swapped bodies, he had to listen more. Because even at work, his best friend, Mdu never gave him a chance to like, pitch in ideas for whatever project they were working on. And through that situation that they were in, he also got to understand from the best friend, like he does not also listen to the best friend. Like he just doesn't listen to people. He thinks that his way is what is supposed to work, and he does not give anybody else a chance. And so they navigate all that and they come out on the other end and they're better for it. And when they finally understand each other and they try to understand through empathizing with each other's situations, they swap bodies again. And Mdu, because he was supposed to work with this amazing musician and he got to do that. And Zeno, she had this project that she was working on, an app where, like, I've seen this online, an app where if you want to have a therapy session and you want to meet a therapist, you can go online and search in that app, and then you can choose whoever you feel like you are more connected to. And so she pitched that to her bosses, and these people were just like, no, because they were white and she's a woman and she's black, and so they didn't listen to her. So eventually she quits the job, and she goes, like, we don't see the next steps that she takes, but yeah, she does that. So they did a lot of things, and I was happy. Like the way they discussed most of the things, the approach that they gave to them was good, because, but then this trope of, swapping bodies, it's something I've watched before, but they had a different take to it, and I love that the man got to experience PMSing, which doesn't usually happen and stuff. But yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it, and at the end, they get engaged, because that's where I think the movie ends. Yeah, it ends with them engaged, and they're celebrating with their friends. So it had a good ending, which was amazing. So I loved it. I love the music. There's the song that was playing while it was ending. I love that song. I tried to search for it, but Google just kept telling me that it couldn't find the song or something. I don't know. So I don't know if it's not online or what is happening, but it wasn't there. But I loved it. It was catchy. I love their acting. I love the chemistry between Du and Zeno. Those guys. And I love Du. I don't know how to explain his face. Like, he's a handsome man, yes, but there's just something. I don't know how to explain it. It was a good thing, though. I think, yeah, you can say he's cute, like in a manly way. But yeah, I love their chemistry. I love their acting. I love the music. I just loved everything about the movie. And it was funny when it was funny, it was funny. I love the way Zeno portrayed a man, but I kept hating every time they were like dude, or calling like a man like the N-word and stuff like that. I was like, okay, yeah, maybe that's how he talks, but maybe it's because I hadn't really maybe paid attention to how Mdu was originally talking to his male friends. So I didn't get to see all that Zeno was doing as if it was really Mdu's character. But either way, it was hilarious. And I laughed a couple of times, which was amazing. In a rom-com, you need to laugh and you need to fall in love. So you get to empathize with them, you get to understand them, you get to be like, oh yeah, that's why he did this, and that's why this happened, and blah 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 blah. And when they finally switch bodies, and because they have understood each other, like, yeah, I feel that too. I understand them. I understand what is happening, and I'm there, right there with them. So yeah, go and watch it. I'll give it a rating of, I don't know, a 7 out of 10. It is good. It's something you can watch with the family, you can watch with kids, because it's rated 16 on Netflix. So I don't know. But yeah, you can watch it in an afternoon, after church or something like that. It's a good movie. You'll laugh. I promise you, you will. So go to Netflix, watch it, then come back and tell me if you agree with me in the comment section down below. Or if you do not, that's okay. Whenever this comes out, that is on the 11th of February, go to my Instagram and comment there as well, because I post them there as well. And yeah, remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, so that whenever I post something new, you're going to be amongst the first ones to come and watch. Okay,